If ever you need an example of why South Park is not for children, The Spirit of Christmas 1992 is definitely an example of this. I watched this mostly out of curiosity because I have a confession. I don't think I've ever seen a full episode of South Park. When I was younger, it definitely wouldn't have been my kind of thing. I don't know if it's my kind of thing today, but I'm certainly curious about it and I will check it out at some point. But I thought, why not start with The Spirit of Christmas? This is directed and written by Trey Parker, and there are actually two Spirit of Christmas films that predate South Park itself. It's not directly connected to South Park, but there are certain characters in this that are very recognizable, such as Kenny. And I feel like from the bits of South Park that I've seen, as I've seen bits and pieces here and there, the tone is very similar. But there were two The Spirit of Christmases. There's this one in 1992. There was also the 1995 one, which I haven't seen, but I will watch because I'm curious. The 1992 one is more frequently known as Jesus versus Frosty, to separate it from the second one, which is called Jesus versus Santa. And in this one, we have these children, I think there are four of them, basically the kids from South Park, making a snowman. And the snowman obviously comes to life, and Frosty comes to life, but he's not a nice snowman, and he becomes very murderous and well, you can imagine what happens to Kenny. If you've seen South Park or are even aware of South Park, you can imagine what Kenny's outcome is going to be with this one. We also have an introduction from Santa Claus, and then, without spoiling too much, Jesus comes along. And because they head towards a nativity scene. But then there's a Jesus there, but it's not baby Jesus. It's adult Jesus. And I have to say, the animation of adult Jesus is creepy, but also very recognizable. And, the quality of the animation here isn't that great. I'm not going to pretend that it's great. I'm not going to pretend that the editing is smooth. It's very choppy and very scrappy, but it's very fascinating and really thought-provoking, and I love anything that pushes boundaries. This is completely unacceptable, and I love it. Trey Parker has clearly gone. It's also co-written by Matt Stone. They've clearly gone, let's see what we can do with sweet, innocent Frosty the Snowman, these children, these boys, Santa Claus, and the image of Jesus, and let's flip every common conception on its head. And that's exactly what they've done. And I love it. And this is coming from, I'm a spiritualist, I love the religious aspect of Christmas, but even I absolutely love this because I love how daring and risky it is. It doesn't matter to me that it's not the best animation. It's not very smooth. It's very rough around the edges. But I was shocked by it, and I love that. Because I think, we live in a world where people are too sensitive, and this is definitely not for people who get offended easily. But I love it. I'd love to know what you think of it if you've seen South Park, or if you're a big South Park fan. How does it compare? To me, as somebody who has seen bits and pieces of South Park, it's definitely relatable. But obviously, if I watched a full South Park episode and watched the narrative development and, observed character interactions, maybe it would actually feel quite different. So please feel free to let me know how it compares to the characters that went on to become the main characters of South Park. But judging it purely on its own, even if I'd never heard of Kenny or Cartman or anybody else, I would thoroughly enjoy it. Not because I love the message or I advocate that treatment of spiritual aspects of Christmas, but just because it's bold and daring. And that's something that I'm always going to appreciate.